Okay, so I'm going to take a moment and show y'all some books that I've been reading as of late over the past few months and that I have in my library that y'all must have. Oh, by the way, what is it, that red label tea with pomegranates? Really good. Like, just put your pomegranate seeds inside, and then I have 2 lemons. Really good. Yeah, I'll continue my spiel on covenants, and that'll be good. So by the way, just a quick update. I've gotten a job working at the apartments where I live, so that's a good thing. We'll see what God has in store later on down the road. Looks like I'll be signing up here for online classes as well. And Trace is still out and about sharing the good word, sharing the good news to people down in Donna. So, hoping we can do a video here with both of us together, with the dynamic duo that we are. But I've referenced this in other videos, but it's Until We Have Faces by C.S. Lewis. Gave me some great insight into covenant, consummation, just human nature in general. And it's really genius. I mean, C.S. Lewis is such a genius writer. Worship as Experience, also a very good book. Why do we find ourselves unfulfilled in corporate worship but discover aesthetic experience in other activities? Very good thesis question. What worship practices are hindering our worship of God? Is there an aesthetic reason why people leave our churches and go elsewhere? How can the local church use the arts to bridge the culture gap? How can the local church generate an aesthetic legacy that points to the community of God? Many of our local churches are suffering a silent malaise, namely a lack of aesthetic experiences. Churches are absorbed by the routine, the sensational, or even the reactionary. People are numbered, and they leave the local church malnourished. Spiritually speaking is what he's saying. Ironically, the churchgoers are finding fulfilling aesthetic experiences where they live, play, and work. What remedy can be given to help restore the church's aesthetic health, offer an aesthetic witness that will point people to God, and create an artistic legacy worth having in the community? So he is building on John Dewey's aesthetics in the community and the local church. I think the cover pretty much says everything it needs to. So, excellent read. That man is a genius. I think he really came in at a time and wrote a something that needs to be considered in the church. I know that he first made me aware of aesthetics, just briefly when taking class with him, and so he's truly a great writer. I'm sure he'd appreciate that shout out too. So, Great Evangelical Disaster by Francis Schaeffer. Everything that we need to know what's going on in our current age. I didn't know he was a prophet, but apparently he was way ahead of his time. So I wish his son could fill his father's shoes, but I guess nobody could fill Francis Schaeffer's shoes. Maybe his son needs to be put in timeout or whatever. But anyway, talks about a post-Christian society. We've been in a post-Christian society, according to Schaeffer, since the 1920s. Something that we all just need to kind of get used to. So, Jesus and the Feminist. If we understand how far we've fallen, we can understand where we can go from here. And the Great Evangelical Disaster and Jesus and the Feminist, kind of the same concurring theme. This is where we are, this is where we've been, and this is where we could be going. Really good book. This person describes several waves of feminism, as well as the hermeneutical gymnastics that are being taken to try to validate the feminist worldview, like what we see with Nancy Pelosi. She said that she can be a Catholic, and yet somehow she's still a feminist, and she supports abortion. Abortion seems to be the argument that kind of unravels everything, and so whether you're a complementarian or an egalitarian or a feminist, it's all the same. So it's just a different way. Letters and Papers from Prison. These are papers and essays and letters that were written by Dietrich Bonhoeffer while he was in prison. Published originally as Prisoner for God. really good book. I'm going to take a moment, probably tomorrow, and read a section of that I found poignant. And I didn't know Bonhoeffer was a prophet either, but apparently he showed off a lot of his brilliance in this book too, even though they were just letters. So it seems like every little piece of scrap paper that he could find, he just wrote greatness on it. So anyway, until then, I'll see y'all soon. I love all of you. Everything we do is for the kingdom.